Computer. Good
Hello,
morning.
hello. Oh, and quite a morning it is. Welcome to GH Sunday Shift.
On
This
a
Sunday, or
Saturday.
it's Saturday, and we are shifting. It has been, I was explaining before we hopped on here to Tanya how it's been a morning. If you're on video and you see my video looks weird, it's because I'm on my iPad because I have like a Mac that has like a weird charger, and we're recording super early because Tanya was so gracious to move around our schedule for us. Y'all, I'm excited to talk about GH. I thought GH was a great week this week, and if it was not for that, I'd have been like, Tanya, we can't record this week. Ah, how are you? How are things going for you? How is life?
I actually had a wild weekend last week. I don't
Hmm.
know if I said, did I say that I had food poisoning?
You did. And
Okay,
you know
so
what? You are one of like four people who told me that they had food poisoning. I was like, what is going on? Is this because of the FDA?
I don't know. Anyway, um, so so all that. I guess the rest of the week was okay. That night, Sunday night, though, I had the time of my life because last week on Sunday was the 21st of September. Do you remember? So they did an Earth, Wind, and Fire Grammy tribute on television on CBS, and I had a concert in my living room. It was amazing, and I've been listening to EWF all week. Um,
As you
and
should.
then yes, I also went on a binge of old GH episodes when Jason got into his accident, which
Hmm.
added a whole other flavor to me to be able to watch this week as he warned Monica. Because, like, some of the most fraught interactions between Monica and Jason happened during that time period. And I
Yeah.
also got to rewatch how Jason and
Trina Keisha?
well, treated
Oh.
Keisha, yes, but how Jason and Sunny got together too.
Hmm.
So it just, it just added a whole new flavor to who Jason is. And so, yeah,
Hmm.
it meant a lot to be able to see him this week.
Yeah.
And what else? I
I
think that's
think that
pretty much it. Yeah.
that's fascinating to me because I know that Anna is trying to do this thing where she's like, well, Sunny, and like what happened to me and Jason is like really similar, like with the WSB, da, 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 da. And if you go back and watch that storyline, it's very
Yeah.
much not similar. Like Sunny didn't want Jason in the mob. Jason like insisted. Whereas the WSB, like whatever they did, trick Anna, this might be like a rewrite. I wasn't watching in the 80s, so I don't know. But there is no comparison to like Jason getting into the mob versus
Uh,
Sunny versus Anna getting into the WSB. And I think going back to watch those classic episodes, like actually reminds you that that's like a really terrible like comparison and storyline point. And
and
I really hope that we don't see any doubling down of that because that's not what happened.
and it was actually Robin that got Jason to be so loyal to Sunny because it was the night when Lily died. And
Hmm.
Sunny did not want anyone around him. And Robin told Jason to go to his house and don't leave him. And
Yeah,
so if Robin hadn't told him to do that, Jason probably wouldn't have gotten so close to Sunny.
right.
And that's
So
ironic to have her mom try to compare what happened to her at WSB with what happened to Jason, because little does she know it was her daughter that brought Jason and Sunny together in the first
yeah.
place.
I love Anna, and I think Anna has such a rich history. Now, again, if you
Yeah.
watch this, like watched us for any period of time, you know that I met Anna on All My Children. So a lot
Uh-huh.
of like the GH lore of Anna is like stuff I've either read about or like had to go back and watch in like clips.
Yeah.
And as you know, like watching the show in full versus watching clips is such a different experience.
Yeah.
So the WSB stuff and all of that, like my feeling about it is so different considering that's not how I met Anna.
Yeah.
So it's a weird thing to watch, and then to they're just like not doing her any favors. I
Hmm.
think putting people against Sunny in general doesn't really do them any favors. And then when you put them against Sunny in ways that just don't make sense doesn't do them any favors. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
So like being able to like be so close to Jason and like feel, and like I think that they tried to like do this story point comparison to be like, this is why Anna can be close to Jason and actually has these feelings for Sunny. I don't want to hear it. It's kind of silly. Yeah.
Yeah. So how was
Yeah.
your week? We're getting all sidetracked.
Yeah. It was good. It was like busy. I had to go to DC. And so if anybody has ever traveled from California or West Coast at all to like the East Coast, that 3 hour time change will kick your butt. Like it's a
Hmm.
lot.
Hmm.
And so yeah, but you know, it's Libra season. My birthday just passed. I had a really good time. Yeah.
Yay!
My birthday, as of recording, my birthday was yesterday. So
Yay!
yeah, I was like in DC, got to see some friends. I had to be there for like a board meeting that was 2 days. I will say that one of the days, me and my friend who lives in DC, me, him, and his husband, I married them. Love them.
Mhm.
Like we went to dinner, and so we were like, okay, let's just walk. He's like, oh, walk you back to your hotel because it was like maybe like a little more than a half a mile away. So we're like, okay, let's just like stretch our legs. Like, you know, we old now. Let's get some digestion going. I saw so many National Guard. I was like, "Ooh, this is
Oh,
get me
wow.
out of occupied DC." Um, so that was like one of the things. And then I flew back to Milwaukee. And one of the reasons I was sharing with Tanya off screen that we were supposed to record early is because I thought that me and my family were doing like birthday stuff today.
Mhm.
Um, Two of my nephews, by the way, one who was born actually in September and the other one who was born in June, were like, "Yeah, it's our birthdays too." I was like,
Yeah.
"Okay." Uh, you know what? And they're my nephews, so I have to support it because I do love celebrating a birthday. But anyway, when I got to my mom's house last night, my family was here. And it was like a big surprise. We had dinner. So I was like, "Dang, Tanya, we didn't have to record early because it's already." But yeah, it was like a really good time, and I think I'm gonna take myself to a movie today.
Awesome.
Um, yeah, and just like bask in Libra season. Um, yeah, so I had a really great week, a really great couple days. Um, yeah, and really great GH this week.
Oh, yeah.
Look at look at that segue. Tan Tanya, tell us who your performer of the week were. Performers, I can imagine I know.
Well, I think everyone would agree. I think for me, it was Jane Elliott and Steve Burton. They knocked it
Hmm.
out of the park 100%. And it was funny because last week I said I didn't cry over the stuff, and maybe it's because I was anticipating it. But after watching Steve Burton's story, Jason's story, rewatching it, and then watching how he reacted to her death, man, it had me in my feels. And then,
Yeah.
awesome. And then Jane Elliott as well. I wasn't rewatching scenes, beach her scenes, but all the clips that they showed of her and Monica,
Hmm.
and then her, just total devastation. Losing someone she's known for 45 years was, phenomenal. So have to give it up to Jane and Steve, but also the rest of the cast, all of the Quartermaine family. They were able to really show us who Monica was, reflecting with her, understanding, that the loss to the family was really, um, emotional, etc. So everybody did a great job. We even got to see thawing of Geo. So it was amazing. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, Jane Elliott is Jane Elliott, national treasure Jane Elliott.
Yeah.
I like read the article that they did with her talking about how close she was to Leslie,
Hmm.
and like how tough this was, and like it was like losing her twice.
Hmm.
Um, just like when people play these characters for so long, you do have this like marriage of who you are as a person with who you are as a character. And so I would imagine that the grief is like compounded. And so Jane
Hmm.
Elliott was like both expected and surprising in a lot of ways, like
Hmm.
expected to do well, but like surprising in like the ways that it was well. And
Hmm.
she just is who she is. Like Jane Elliott is who she thinks she is and more.
Hmm.
And Steve Burton, I think to your point about watching classic Jason stories is, I started watching GH when Steve Burton was already Jason Morgan.
Hmm.
So he has moments of like that vulnerability and all of that, but that's actually not who Jason Morgan is. So it can sometimes feel flat. Not that that's who Steve is as an actor, but if he's not inspired or if he doesn't have material that like allows him to shine, you could forget how good he is. And
Hmm.
I think that if you're a person who watched like the Jason Quartermaine to Jason Morgan story, you actually can see Steve's range. But if you didn't see it, you might not know exactly what
Oh,
that is.
and then just after the accident, actually, he was very emotional. He was very volatile. He didn't actually know how to control his emotions. And that was one of the things that Tony Jones had said is that he just doesn't know how to control them, not that he
Hmm.
doesn't have them. And so when he really got angry at Tony Jones and
Hmm.
everybody else that was trying to put feelings onto him, that's when he was just like, well, I'm just going to really take on, and working for Sunny, I'm going to really take on this stone cold
Yeah.
image. And so it wasn't that Jason never had feelings. It's just that he really decided that he needed to control them so that way he wouldn't be manipulated anymore by everybody
Yeah.
else.
It's such a
Yeah.
good story to go back and watch, and it's like
Mhm.
available. But I
Yeah.
said that to say like because like you sometimes if you don't see all of that, you don't get the
Yeah.
sense of like the kind of actor
Hmm.
that Steve Burton can be when
Oh
is
yeah.
given that material.
Yeah.
And so this, like last week and this week, has been such a display. Like we saw the vulnerability and all of that when Sam died. We did really get
Yeah.
a good sense of that. We
Yeah.
saw it if you watch back when they thought Jake had died.
Mhm.
But there's something about the way that this is like threaded throughout where he doesn't have to be strong for other people, where you see
Mhm.
the like every ounce of like regret, where you see every ounce of like love and all of that that he
Mhm.
has for his family. Like it was so special that people keep bringing up you moved into the house, you did this,
Yeah.
you did that. The
Yeah.
time that he spent rejecting his family is what makes this time so special, and the fact that he lives at the Quartermaine is so special.
Yeah. I'm tearing
um
up now. Watch. I'm
I know.
just like,
It was so
because
good.
because it was so vivid the night that he left the Quartermain mansion. That
Hmm.
was just like, because he was just so hurt and angry, and it was just like,
Hmm.
and then just to just rewatch that and relive him moving back in is it's, and then oh man, sorry.
Yeah. And no, no, no.
Yeah.
This is good storytelling. And I
Yeah.
don't know, I don't know what's happened in that writer's room. I
Right.
don't. I do not know what the shift is because y'all know we used to get on here and be like, listen, writers, call
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, go ahead and do your thing. Let them cook.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
they're cooking. And I think
Yeah.
the combination, this is why we get tough on GH. And I do think that
Yeah.
there is something that as an audience, because I'll look on social media and I'll see people
Yeah.
complaining about stuff. And
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, and I've even talked about this with Tara from Port Misery, first day drop of that her. I like listen, I'm like,
Yes.
we love us and Tara.
Right? We just talk about her all the time.
But like for us, I think, like we talk about how people complain about the show a lot, and far be it from me because y'all know I've complained about the show, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't tell anybody they can't. But
Yeah.
I think people have been so used to complaining that it's hard to know when something's good again. And so
Oh
we are
yeah.
in a complaining posture of the show that sometimes we can't even like lean into or sit into like what is really good. So I'm
Yeah.
watching like last week where people were like, we didn't have enough flashbacks. I'm like, well, y'all, wait, like
Oh,
Monica is the kind of character where we're gonna be seeing this ongoing. Like
oh
she
yeah.
is not a one episode morning character and we're done. She was like in the fabric of the show and still very relevant. Off
Oh yeah.
screen, Monica was one of the most powerful people on the show.
She
That
was a
was the Don.
character. Off screen, Monica was a character.
Off
She didn't have to be there.
off
Right.
screen upstairs, Monica was the Don, not Sunny.
Yes.
Okay, she was running
Right.
stuff, and
Exactly.
so I think that just like being in this like posture of like looking for something to complain about, because we've been hurt before. So let's be clear that this is like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
not mad at you because look, it has been whatever before, but looking for something to complain about actually takes us out of the moment of enjoying it. And so I
Hmm.
do like that I was pretty unplugged this week because I was traveling. So I was at my in my hotel room at night, Wednesday through Friday, like watching it at like 10 p.m. alone, crying into a pillow. It was
Hello.
so I was able to really enjoy it separate from like what folks were saying or the expectations that people had. And I'm glad that I was able to do that because I thought it was a perfect week and I thought, you know, I thought it was great. But we'll get there because we're getting into the
Yes.
story.
Yes.
Let's talk about the week. Um, we can actually start with Monica. Um, so news starts spreading, right? Like we have Jason going to pick up a suit from his old room, and
Mhm.
Britt's there. And Britt has like an attitude, so he comes in, he's like, "Are you?" She's like, "Are you here to fix the window?" Now, I don't know about you, Tanya, but I said, Britt, did you just need to close the window?
All the things that she asked Jason to do is something she could have done herself. And I
Yeah,
know, I mean, I'm a single person who lives by herself, and I'm a type of person that will call a mechanic for anything because I
100%.
just don't want to, some part of me doesn't want to learn. But sometimes I can be pretty adventurous. Like this morning, I had an issue with my toilet, and I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then I just went in and explored and then figured it out. So
Yay.
but I could totally understand being a type of woman who just gets verklempt over things. But what she was asking was ridiculous. I was just like, what?
Over her. I am at this point where I'm like, what is the point of what they're doing with her? And like,
Uh-huh.
what do they think? Like, I'm sorry, but Jason has grown,
Uh-huh.
and who people want Jason with, like, is not somebody who acts like this. And I think that they didn't do themselves any favors by having him all those scenes with Elizabeth. Like, I could never be a liaison ever, never. I could never. But like it just that goes against everything in me. But I could imagine that people are just like, well, if they're both single, like people, I could imagine why with Brit's behavior, people don't want him with Brit. So
Yeah.
anyway, I don't care about it. But anyway, so Jason goes to get the suit, and Britt like has all these jokes about mom conventions or whatever, but then he tells her about Monica. And this is like where you get such a sense of the overwhelming grief that he has because it's separate
Mm-hmm.
from everyone else. What
Mm-hmm.
did you think about those scenes?
Yeah, I just thought, it's funny because my reaction to those scenes is kind of colored by her behavior towards Lulu, which we'll talk about later.
Hmm.
That's so it was like so soon after, and I was already annoyed with Britt. So to have Jason be confronted by Britt in this mode annoyed me. And I was like,
Right.
girl, if you don't, I was just like really annoyed by it. But again, it showed how um Jason's grief at the moment was just, the most important all-consuming thing. And that even though he kind of tolerated her, he was just like, the pain was just so visceral that she couldn't even continue Britain. she was she was like, "Oh my God, there's something wrong with you, and I need to acknowledge that." So yeah,
Right.
it was yeah what it was. But
Yeah, he couldn't she couldn't even finish berating.
yeah,
Um it also was like surprising to me that that didn't give her like I mean, we're stepping ahead, but like it obviously gave Geo pause to watch everything happen with Brooklyn. So I was
uh-huh.
surprised that it didn't give Britt more pause to like think about what was happening with her own mother. Like I know it
Mm.
came up a little bit, but it didn't give her pause, and it kind of made her feel like a sociopath, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, because if I think about it, yes, like I Liesel's anger really came across when I guess when Britt was reviewing everything, and it made me think about, well, yeah, no wonder Liesel is so hurt because you guys did have a moment where you guys were close, and here you are coming back and showing how that closeness meant nothing to you. And
Right,
so, and yeah, the fact that she's not still not recognizing that is a little crazy to me. But I don't know where the writers are going with this. I kind of feel like there has to be more to this story that we don't
right,
understand. And so I'm just kind of being patient right now and waiting. But at the moment, I'm like really not happy with who she's being and how she's behaving towards people in Port Charles. And so I'm just really just holding on to my annoyance right now at the reason why she's back and trying to figure out where this story is going. Particularly, I really want to see how Nathan plays into this.
right.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm. Yeah, let's take a pit of that because I do want to come back and dig into that. But
yeah,
we do also have Tracy kind of disappearing. So we have Lulu going to the house and like everybody's looking for
yeah.
Tracy. I didn't know where they were going with that. I was really surprised. But they have Tracy like being overwhelmed with grief, going to Atlantic City. And the only person who can find her is Lois because apparently Lois knows her way around AC. um, Jane Elliott, obviously Queen, bust
Uh-huh.
that down, like scenes just on 10. Um, did did you laugh when on the way Ned was telling Brooklyn about his affair with Monica?
Yeah, he's like, Brooklyn, I have something to tell you. Like nobody knew any of what was going on. Like she's a grown woman, and so even when your parents try to hide things from you, when you're an adult, you're a kid, you see things, you hear things, you find things out. You may not talk about it with your parents, but it doesn't mean that you don't know. So it's funny how Ned just assumed that Brooklyn had no idea that he had an affair with Monica. So it was funny. It was
That was
hilarious.
funny to me because also this was something that Drew brought up when he was like found out with Willow at that Christmas party.
Oh yeah, so
Like, so
that's
this
true.
is not, this is not like a big secret. It's so funny. It was really funny to me. And
Yeah,
her just like being such a daughter. I love Amanda and Wally's like
yeah,
father daughter chemistry. Just be like, yuck.
yeah. You don't have to talk about it. I don't want to know. And I can imagine. I would want to know my dad's dealings.
No. And so then we have, it felt like a little bit of like some softening between Brooklyn and her mom. Um, they shared a little bit of cotton candy on the boardwalk. How are you feeling about the Lois stuff? How are you feeling about perhaps a softening of Lois and Brooklyn?
So again, watching. I mean, Steve Burt, like Jason's storyline back in the day, gives you a flavor of how almost all of the Quartermaines were during that time. And at that time, Ned and Lois were married. So I actually
Mhm.
got to see a younger Lois again. And so that
And
also
she still
flavored
looks
my,
good, by the
she
way.
looks amazing. But it also, what it did was it also, again, just flavored how I feel about her now. And
Mm,
so I was angry and I still feel very like Brooklyn's very justified in her anger towards her mother. But my feelings about Lois as a character has definitely thawed, and I still love her as a character. And so I'm happy to see her back because I was really sad that we would never see her again. So happy to see her back now. It was just a little obvious to me how they did it. Just like have Lois come when, Monica died. It just seemed like kind of obvious, but I didn't it didn't matter to me. Also I wasn't as familiar, and I feel like I want to go back after I'm done with watching Jason's story, go back and watch almost everybody's story. Like I want to go back and see um, Tracy in her, casino era. I believe that was how she and um, Luke connected. So I kind of want to watch that storyline all over again. But I thought it was cool. I thought Tracy disappeared to go to the mausoleum, but no, she went to Atlantic City. So, and it
right.
just like it was just a tool to bring Lois back into the scene, which is fine with
Yeah.
me. I was okay with it.
Yeah. I think that like if you have what Lois did was so wild, and if you
Yeah.
know Lois, it was like tough to take
Mm-hmm.
because you basically then have to like look at so many of her decisions
Mm-hmm.
set like from way back colored through
Mm-hmm.
this lens, and that's what
Mm-hmm.
always happens when like the show retcons something so deeply in the past, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
um and I think that if you watched old Lois, or if you have that affection for Rena or whatever, it's easier to like to forgive her. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're like a viewer who only knows like Brooklyn and like all of this, I think it's a tougher call.
Yeah.
But I do want them to reconcile. I think their mother-daughter relationship is very special, and I actually really love. I mean, I think
Mm-hmm.
Amanda is like pretty amazing as an actress and has
Mm-hmm.
chemistry with everyone. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Bronte because I'm looking at uh
Oh yeah.
Dante and Brooklyn like, oh.
Yes, those scenes were like, and especially now that Chase is like acting hecka strange. Yes. I'm
But
reconsidering that.
I love the fairy tale-ness of Chillin. Like the
Yeah.
problem with Chillin is that I don't ever want them to break up, right? Because I'm gonna be like, what's this? Like they just feel so stable, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, she just has like such great like warmth with everyone. And
Hmm.
so I do want her to eventually like repair with Lois, but I do think that there needs to be something more than just like blaming John Travolta's sister and acting like nothing else happened. Nah, girl, you was real foul for this. And I think that
Yeah.
that's an important thing to remember. So,
Yeah.
um, oh, anyway, and then we obviously had Tracy playing blackjack, and that was the deciding factor about whether or not she was going to come back to Port Charles. A lot of times, like I sometimes feel like these kind of side quests, I don't like them. Um, because like we know what's going to happen, but I did find myself enjoying this. I think it did not go
Hmm.
on too long, which is also
Right.
helpful.
Yeah.
um and the performances were just so good, like I couldn't be mad at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out to the dude who was playing who was like the blackjack dealer. I kind of laughed at him because when she said that and she was like get hit me again, like when her and Ned were talking, he kind of looked like he looked like he was interested, like what's tea. So I do love when we have a background actor who really is like in it. That makes me
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
I have to look at my phone for notes because I'm on
Okay.
my iPad. Uh, it's ratchet out here. Um, we do also have Martin finding out and making a call. I'm gonna just say this, and I think this is true about Martin and Vicky Lord's character, but like Tracy is such an iconic character with so many layers. It's really tough to cross her and be okay. And so
Uh-huh.
for us to see Tracy in a place of grief like we are, and then to
Yeah.
have Martin still be like going at her, it's tough to watch.
Yeah, but it also makes me really curious about what it is that they are going to air out about Tracy and how are they going to get, like, when I say they, for those who hadn't been watching, I'm talking about Martin and Drew, because Martin kind of hinted at something to Drew.
Right.
And so, but they both have this overwhelming need to get at the Quartermaines. So I'm just really curious about what Martin has up his sleeve because that curiosity overwhelms my anger at them trying to hurt Tracy. Like right now, I just kind of want to see what it is. But I also think it will add layers to Tracy's character because yes, he loved Monica. They had this, special relationship, but Tracy had did some things in the past, and I kind of want to hear everything. Like I want to know what she did that will make the family vulnerable. So I'm really curious about it.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I mean, we
Yeah.
have heard so much about how, Tracy and Monica like weren't friends for a long time and they came
Right.
together. So I'm assuming that this kind of Vicky Lord character is going to like her understanding of who Tracy is going to be really
Uh-huh.
colored not by the close relationship she had with Monica now, but by the
Right.
relationship she's had in the past. So I
Yeah.
think that that's because, jumping ahead a little bit, like that's she was like, I've been looking for you, or I've been, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so this is not, Tracy and Monica admittedly had a lot of drama. And
Mm-hmm.
so this character, who's Monica's sister, apparently, like, knows the drama.
hmm And it just
So,
reinforces your point that you made before that, this memorial to Monica is not ending with last week's episode. It's gonna
right,
keep going. We're gonna keep getting flashbacks as this story, this new element of the story pushes forward.
right, right. Um, so one of the things that I found people to be obsessed about was whether or not Carly and Sunny were coming to the memorial.
Oh my God.
Now I knew they weren't coming. Like that
Yes.
just didn't even feel like and again, I know that Carly and Sunny have taken up a lot of space on the show before, but it really does seem like they're trying to like distribute story more. And we
Uh-huh.
don't see that anywhere more than the fact that they allow Michael to be his own character.
hmm
It was his own motivation. So
hmm
I appreciated, I did really love the scene where Michael went and told Sonny and Carly and they supported him.
hmm
I also loved that, Michael was kind of like, yeah, she gave some respect for you, but it was never no lie. Like she liked you, she loved y'all, she understood y'all. It was never that. It was like
hmm
she understood that y'all loved me and therefore she tolerated y'all.
Right. And like I said, who's to say, like in the following days, that Sunny and Carly aren't going to mourn Monica in their own way? They may have scenes where they're like, "Oh, Michael, so how was the funeral?" And then they have their own memories as well, and they talk about Monica that way. They don't have
Right.
to be there that day in order for Sunny and Carly to remember Monica. So yeah.
Well, what I saw was people being worried that they would come because they're like, she hated them and da 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 da,
Oh no.
which is right.
Yeah, I was doing a battle on social media about for people who felt like not enough of the cast was present during
Oh
the
yeah,
funeral scenes. And so I was just
yeah.
like, y'all, first of all, y'all need to understand that GH don't have the kind of money to have a full cast on one day. And y'all need to reconcile in your mind that we can't have the same kind of scenes we had back in the day. They
Right.
have to be efficient and they have to, one, not piss off ABC investors who are probably all up in arms about other things right now. And so you don't want to have them put their angry eye on the soaps, and then we have no soaps whatsoever. So y'all need to chill out, But yeah, that was the battle I was
But I
doing.
but I think that that's like the piece of like I think that's like the piece of complaining, right? Monica is
Yes.
like a character such as, I mean, we've already had, obviously she wasn't hadn't passed yet on screen, but we already
Uh-huh.
had the dedication of the
Yeah.
memorial, the heart memorial to her.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more people talk about her. Like this is not a one and done, in my opinion.
Right.
Um, and I think they did like, again, to your point, they did what needed to be done as far
Mm.
as like who was present. And they
Yeah.
even I appreciate it because I felt like the scene between Portia and Elizabeth really highlighted them understanding the audience had questions, because the
Hmm.
audience was like, where are the kids at? And
Right.
Elizabeth was talking to Portia and she said, well, you know, because Scout can't go, Drew trash, because
Yeah.
Scout can't go, we also it also means that we told all the kids like to not come, and that made Jake
Right.
feel better, right? And I
Yeah.
thought that that was like an important piece of like the conversation that I
Mhm.
appreciated happening, because it explains why they're not there.
Yes.
But also, again, like you said, unfortunately, there are real budget constraints.
Right.
Like,
And
this
like,
is not the 90s, this is not the 2000s. Like, we
yeah,
holding on by dear life, babes.
yes. And it's even more difficult to have kids on the set than it is adults because you not only got to pay for their time, you got to pay for their tutors, you got to pay for all kinds of stuff. And so it's like it's a lot to have everybody on the board and be there. And like you said, they had the key people in Monica's life at that funeral, and particularly key people who had worked with her before, and so could really bring that emotion and that feeling to the set. Where no, not to say that, Roy Gibson did an amazing job, and I'm not quite sure he had a lot of scenes with Monica, but
He
and
never,
Leslie, he
Rory,
never, yeah,
Rory, yeah, never had
never
any
had
scenes
any
with Leslie.
scenes. Leslie, so for him to be able to bring it was great, but what was really meaningful is to have cast members who had worked with Leslie over the years. And so that's what made it special. I don't need to have, you know, random Joe Schmo nurse from GH talk about, oh yeah, Monica was great. No, we needed to have the people that worked with her, that loved her, to be there to mourn her. So I was
Yeah.
very much satisfied. I didn't need to have everybody and their mama there.
And there were other people who I was like, oh, it would have been nice. Like, I would have loved
Okay.
for Emma to come with Gia. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I would have
Yeah.
loved some of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I feel like the people who were there, the focal points of who was there, because what we wanted to see was full pews,
Yes.
not like action. You know what I'm saying? Because the people who
Yeah.
actually needed to have reactions had the reactions. And so it was like, this was like a private, closed ceremony for like close family, Quartermaines,
Right.
Laura and Elizabeth. You know what I mean? Like, and I
Yeah.
and two members of Black Hospital. Like, so you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We didn't even have Yuri there. He was probably
Right.
too upset.
Yes. He's really grieving right now. So,
Yeah. Yuri's
and
taking it the hardest.
And then my final comment, which was my hot take, was shout out to the writers to not only bring the mourning, but bringing the drama. For me, when Drew wheeled himself into the funeral, that was peak GH drama right there. Everyone paused, they looked gassed, they each had their individual reactions. That's classic GH reaction drama, that I've been wanting to see for a long time. Like I'm
Yes.
wanting to see, like for me, a peak classic drama would be the type of wedding where everybody was there and everybody's having a reaction to what's going on. And to call back to again watching Jason's stories, Same thing happened with Brenda when she got left by Sonny at the altar.
Ooh,
That so that funeral scene recalled that those kind of scenes that GH had in in its heyday. Everybody paused. They're like, and everyone's like, ooh, and then on, and then Tracy taking him out. That was peak drama. Shout out, that was great. They should submit that for an Emmy reel.
yes. I mean, amazing. But I want to back up because even when he was talking about going, Martin was like,
Are you
"Are you
sure
sure?"
that's what you want to do? Trying to talk about. I mean, yeah, because that was all part of the buildup to the drama.
Yeah,
You
but it
know?
was just like the Martin of it all was
Yeah.
so funny. He was like, I'm not really sure you're trying to do that.
Right.
And and so then we had that, and then we have like him getting there and just I loved in Jason's eulogy where Jason was like me, Emily, and
Ellie,
AJ.
AJ, that's who I'm representing.
That's it. Those are Monica's children.
Children,
That's it.
exactly.
It was like he could not say he said like, excuse me, I just want to be clear, not that man. That man, absolutely not. We don't even know him.
He
When
wasn't
he
even a thought.
no, when he
Right.
showed up, Michael and Jason was gonna run up on him. I'm like, why y'all run up and hit his chair? Like it's for the
This man is handicapped. They're about to beat him down. It doesn't matter.
it really didn't. They were about to just take turns whack-a-mole at him. I was
Uh,
the run up on him was so funny.
but it was so necessary because this man had a lot of gall rolling up in there talking
The
about
unmitigated
the
gall, the
unmitigated
gumption.
gall to be like, I'm here to remember my mom. Just like, sir,
But Tracy being like, actually, let's fact check this. You're Drew Kane,
pain.
and you
Yes,
had no relationship with Monica.
right.
I it also is so funny because because of like Cameron's Drew, the only flashback they can give is basically when he bought pizza over on that Thanksgiving to also tell them Jason was dead. Nobody wanted you here, bro. And so I also have to be really clear. I think that I actually hate when people pretend like adopted family is not family,
Mhm.
right? But Jason and Monica's relationship is so different than Drew and Monica's relationship.
Yeah,
And we have not gotten the sense, they have not told us that Drew still has Jason's memories.
right. We don't know.
So and I it is unbelievable that Drew would still have Jason's memories and treat Michael the way he's treated Michael.
Mhm.
Jason could never.
Never.
Even
And
when
I
Jason
think,
was doing his
no, go
go
ahead.
ahead. Oh,
No,
even
it's
when
a,
Jason was doing his eulogy,
uh,
like when he was like, when I had a son, he looked at
at
Michael.
Michael. Yes. And
Like,
It was Michael that brought out those feelings. The fact
yes,
it wasn't even his actual son. It was Michael who brought out the thawing between Monica and Jason.
right. So it's like for me, I am confused as to like who Drew thinks he is because if you don't have these memories with Monica, like the only time that you really had with her is like so you had it when you came back because you thought you were Jason. So
Uh,
that isn't special because she thought you were Jason. And then she came to Billy Miller's Drew and was like, even though, you're not Jason, you're still my son. Like I still care for you, whatever, whatever. And like wanted to get to know him, but he kind of died after that. Like fake died after that. Because if you remember,
yeah,
Franco had his memories and she was kind of obsessed with getting to know Drew through Franco. So
right.
Drew and Monica, with him being Drew, were not that close. And
exactly.
him
If
being
you
this
come,
grown man, being
yeah.
like, "Oh my God, like she's the only mother I knew." Shut up. Get a therapist.
If you just really think logically about it, the relationship that she had with Drew is so tiny in comparison to the relationship she had with Jason and Michael. Like
Hmm.
she has known Michael since he was born, and he has been in her life all his whole entire life. Same with Jason. And so for Drew to equate the relationship that he has with Monica, with Jason and Michael is ridiculous. Just logically. But he is in his like all about me era. And so that's all he can
Delulu.
think about. The Lulu, really just to make Michael an enemy. This man who's supposed to be your nephew, you're acting like how Michael is treating you and how the Quartermaines are treating you. It's just so horrible. What about how you treated your family? You did not care enough about your family to think outside of yourself in this relationship with Willow. That that's why you're no longer family to them. You're the one that caused the rift,
Yep.
not the other way
One-
around.
100%.
Right.
And it's like he is pretending as if he did one thing. Quartermains are Quartermains, and I do
Right.
think that Monica maybe could have gotten over the affair piece.
Yes. Because
Drew
she
wasn't
had an affair with
apologetic. Well, yeah, but Drew was not apologetic.
at
Tripled
all.
down. Drew tried to like separate the family. It wasn't just the affair. It was
Yeah.
everything that you did after that.
Sure.
And then on
Yeah.
top of that, you tried to mow down the mausoleum where her family was, where Alan's rested, where AJ's rested, where Emily's rested. You thought she was
Lila.
going to do that, Lila. Like you thought you were going to do that, and she was going to be like all good. So even this, like, oh, she called me. Yeah, she probably called you to be like, what's wrong with you? Well, my granddaughter can't come over here. She did not call you to make amends, bro.
Right.
It's not possible. You are still like actively harassing Michael. You are still actively harassing her grandchildren, and then you're separating her from her other grandchild. Like in the same way that he's so selfish, and this is why I'm like, is this man like Drew? This is really bizarre to me. Like, what is going
Yes.
on? In the same way that you're like, Monica's the only person who treated me like a mother, and then you're like, but Scout can't see her. Scout can't see
Mm-hmm.
this family that loves her.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you not being a Quartermaine, because if they felt like you weren't a Quartermaine, they wouldn't want Scout around either. And they do not ever treat your daughter any differently. They love your
Right.
daughter.
Yeah.
So to me, I'm just constantly like, what's going on here? When is the other shoe gonna drop? Because he can't be this disgusting of a person. I mean, maybe he
Yeah.
is, but this is wild.
Yeah. It's getting even wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, other things about the memorial, like you said, I mean, Jason's speech is so
Mm-hmm.
good. I mean, and I know, like you
Mm-hmm.
said, they were gonna keep talking about it. If y'all have the opportunity to go back and watch old Jason's story, it just hits even harder.
Yeah.
Um, like even the one flashback they did where he was sitting with her, it was like after Alan died, because that was
Mm-hmm.
another time like he had like really great regret about the parents, and that he was actually, that to me was like a turning point in his relationship with Monica, where
Mm-hmm.
he was like, you know what, let me, you know, because sometimes Jason with Monica, do you remember, now we're talking about old story, do you remember when they thought Monica might have hit Sam with the car, but Jason was like trying to prove that it wasn't like it wasn't Monica, and then maybe it wasn't Elizabeth, and Sam was just like, you're a trash son, but I wouldn't ever do that to Monica. Miss Sam. But yeah, like, I think that that was a real turning point in their relationship. Um, and so yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought Michael's speech was really good, to believe and understand that this Michael, as Rory's Michael, has never ever even met Leslie Charleston.
Yeah.
I mean, the tears,
Yeah.
Brooklyn's tears, just. chef's kiss of a whole thing.
Yeah.
Um, how did you feel about Gio being there?
I was glad because right now we're finally starting to see him thaw a bit. I'm like I was getting irritated by him being angry so
Yeah,
much. So I'm glad that he was there. I'm glad he was able to see what he needed to see to be able to come and reconcile the fact that he is a Quartermaine and he's finally proud to be one. He still has probably a ways to go in terms of his relationship with Brooklyn and Dante, but I was glad to see him. His scenes with Jane Elliott was,
yeah. Oh,
uh,
so good.
beautiful. His scenes with Ned was good, hilarious. So yeah. But one thing I didn't
So,
appreciate was I guess they were in the kitchen and Jason's like, well, I got a story to tell that no, I've never heard before. And then Gio was like, well, tell us. And then we didn't get to hear the
and when we get the
story.
story,
Like, where's
I know I was really mad about it. Um, I will say two things. One, I loved Jason, the way Jason showed up. It was
the story?
very Jason, like
Yes.
the fact that he welcomed people to the memorial, and they
Hmm.
talked about that because like we know Jason ain't a people person.
Right.
Then the fact that he stuck around, the fact that he was like a little bit outside of the conversation in the kitchen, right? Like, so you
Yeah.
had the scene with Lulu where he like they talked about Monica, and then the scene where they were all in the kitchen kind of around the table talking, and Jason was like away, but he was there. And I was like,
There.
oh, this is
Yeah.
such a good, like a well-written scene and so well directed because this is how you are with family that you're a little distant from, but you're there. And then when he said that, like Gio fits in so well. He's such a lover boy and like a sweetheart that when
Yeah.
he is like such a like that's why he's so good with Emma. So when he is like a little jerk, it's hard to take.
Yeah. But
I
I
will
and
say, oh, I
oh,
will say, though, I was very annoyed when he kind of like brushed off Dante and Brooklyn and then went and hugged Lulu and sat with her. I was like, y'all want
yes.
to piss me off.
I want to see more scenes between Jason and Gio because I think
Yeah.
Jason will add a more colorful perspective to Gio's shunning of family and parents because he has
Hmm.
so much experience with that. And I love what he had to say, which was really poignant after watching his story is like you can't control how other people feel about you. You can't, do
Yeah.
that. And that's something that he had to learn so much during his,
Yeah.
after his accident. Like people
That's
were
right.
trying to convey that to him and he was like, "No, you guys are putting all this onto me and I don't like it." But people are trying to tell him it's not just happening to you, it's
Right.
happening to everybody. And so it
Yeah.
was like, yeah, phenomenal. I was so upset when I
Yeah.
found out he didn't win an Emmy that year, but then when I heard it was Jonathan Jackson, I was like, oh, okay.
I mean, it's like the split because like yeah,
Yeah,
they're so good. They should have been both of them.
yeah,
I will also say that the other thing I think that the writers have done is they've done really well with the emotion of the Geo story with everybody around him. I
yeah.
really, really loved when they were able to honor his mom
Hmm.
and that they didn't have like this is the groundedness that GH has that other places don't, and this is also the acting that GH has that other places don't. Brooklyn was not jealous of his mother.
Right.
Brooklyn was appreciative of his mother.
Yeah.
And I will say that Amanda's portrayal, because like I've been pretty neutral on Brooklyn, especially in her scheming days, though I do love a scheme.
Uh,
Um, the grounded portrayal of Brooklyn, the emotional portrayal of Brooklyn has really made me. I've always been a Amanda fan, but it's really made me a Brooklyn fan,
yeah.
and it's like made me want to ride for her in a way that I didn't know that I would ever want to for her.
Yeah.
So I loved that she wasn't jealous of his mom and that she was appreciative and loved his mom and went to honor her. I love that she's like giving him his space in the moment and she's genuinely happy when he's connecting with other members of the family. So she told Dante back in the day, like, go connect with him without me. When she saw him talking to Ned, there was like an actual genuine like joy on her face that wasn't just like, I'm jealous that he's connecting with other people, but that she's actually appreciative that he's part of the family. So I've really enjoyed, despite how annoyed I am at Geo sometimes for like his rejection of them, I have like loved the performances of like the kind of periphery around that.
Yeah. Yep.
And finally, Brit off the wall, Monica on the wall.
Yep.
Thank goodness. Uh, thank goodness. Um, is there anything that I'm missing from Monica? Oh yeah, and then Vicky Lord shows up at the end of the mausoleum
Yep.
because Tracy was missing. They didn't know where she was. That's where she had gone, and Vicky is
Yep.
there.
Yep. Do do
Also,
do.
she's already wrapped up her
Yeah.
filming. She
Yeah.
was like, I was in, I was out. Thanks for having me. I'm retired, babes. And I
Right.
respect it. Because you at home, you're like, let me get a little check. And then she said,
All right.
we done.
Now, yeah, we're done.
I can't do nothing but respect it.
Yeah.
Um, so what else do we got on here? Sorry. Okay. Return of Nathan. Find out that the DNA does match. So Anna goes back to the police department, and then like calls Nina in and wants Nina to like ID Nathan. I thought that Nina's reaction was correct of being like shocked and like in disbelief and kind of mad at Anna and like you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
cause can you imagine? I think can you imagine like the shock and how you would feel about this? Like, yeah, of course you're gonna be like, girl, get out of here.
And no, I'm not gonna go and look at this look-alike. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
How would I subject myself to that? So yeah. And it was just really crazy to me that Anna needed somebody in the family to do that. Um, yeah, I didn't understand her reasoning behind that, but yeah, whatever.
yeah. This is another case of I had to remember that Cynthia's Nina had never worked with Nathan.
Nate. Yeah,
I was like, oh yeah. So even when we talk about like performances, I think that I forgot to shout out Cynthia Watros because
yeah,
like just her like grief and her like relief and all of that, I just felt like it was like very, very well played.
yeah.
The other person well played, and I could not believe that nobody told her. Felicia.
I know.
Felicia walks into the room and nobody had told her that her son-in-law was
I
why you
mean,
ain't
that's
call your girl?
well, that's the funny thing. Like Anna could have done that, could have called Felicia instead of, Nina, because Felicia knew who he was. She didn't need to call Nina. She didn't need to call the family first. She should have said, oh, by the way, Felicia. And yeah, Felicia works in a hospital, so she's most likely to actually see him before anybody else.
Right. I guess they said we need this moment of Felicia being whatever.
Right.
And so we also have, Felicia, like James is with Cody with the
Yeah.
horses. He has really been stepping up in Maxie's absence. I have thought it was strange, and I guess this is where we are. And it's a storyline dictated. I was like, it's weird to me that James is not closer to Spinelli because Spinelli has been in James's life the whole time. So
Hmm.
now, he is close to Cody and kind of was like, I wish you were my dad. And I was like, oh, I guess this is going to be like a Spixie Naxie thing. And it'd be hard to do that with James being like close to Spinelli like that. But I'm a Spixie fan, so I am a little, I don't know. I felt away.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I just kind of just because of the way that they have been writing James with Cody, that I kind of just already knew that when it
Yeah, yeah.
comes to James, there's going to be a rivalry with Cody and Nathan. It just
Mm.
kind of seems weird that they would not have Spinelli on more. And so this is where I have one of the rare occasions where I'm just like mad at the producers who are wanting to promote Cody more than they are promoting Spinelli. And that pisses me off because I'm just like, Spinelli has that history with the family. And so he needs to be the one to have that push and pull with Nathan. And it needs to be really high drama between Nathan and Spinelli when it comes to Maxie. I don't know why they keep pushing Cody on us. I hate it. He does not need to be a central figure. You guys need to invest in people we've already had. Take the money you're spending on him, give it back to Samantha. I don't get it. He's taking up so much energy. And it's not to say that Cody, like the actor, isn't a good actor. He's great. But Cody is unnecessary. He does not need to be there. Take him off. I can't. Sorry. That's it.
No, I know how you feel about Cody. Um, I don't agree 100%, but I definitely respect it. Um, I'm pretty neutral on them, is what I mean.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, I just, it's so weird. I mean, Smelly is like raising Cody or raising James. So
Right.
yeah, to your point, like that should be where the rivalry is. And I hear people say like, oh, Bradford doesn't live in LA. Bradford lives in Sacramento. Bradford is constantly on tour with Steve. If y'all gave Bradford a story, Bradford would bring his ass to LA.
Yeah.
Because the other thing, and I forgot to mention this with like the kids not being at Monica's memorial, real life logistics is most of them I don't think even live in LA. I believe Finn lives in the Bay
Uh,
and Asher lives in Chicago.
so
So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. You gotta fly them kids. You know these kids ain't paying to go down to LA to be on the show. You gotta fly them kids down, pay for their schooling, pay for all of that. No, it's expensive.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't change it because y'all know I love my Jason baby. So I just want to be clear
Right.
about that.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, so we have Nathan who does not believe that any time has passed. He was
Mhm.
surprised. The last thing he remembers, or the last thing he says he remembers, is Faison shooting him, and he was surprised that he had like the scar was healed on his chest.
Yeah. This is interesting.
Um, yeah,
I I don't
his
know.
his.
I don't know. There's lots of theories that Nathan is like Faison again, or he's Peter August again, and I'm just like, I hope that's not the case. I know it's not it's not like impossible or heard of that the show would go there, but I kind of like it seems like it's going to be something similar where to what happened with Drew and Jason. He lost time. He's not some manifestation of Peter. I don't know.
Mhm,
I just hope not. Um, but then at the same time, Monica, who was it, Anna and whoever saw his brain in a jar. I was like, it could have not been his brain. Saw Faison's
mhm.
brain in a jar. It could have been anybody's brain. But y'all are assuming that it was his brain. So we'll
I
see.
mean,
But
I think the actor who played Ryan is handsome. Um,
oh, so handsome. That was a hot take. I was like, this man is
I
fine.
I respectfully don't know if he has the range to do. Not a lot of actors have the range to do like a Faison pretending to be Nathan, pretending to be like that's a lot.
That is a lot, but then at the same time, I mean, Ryan has been doing more films and I mean shown in different, movies or whatever. And so his acting skills could have been bumped up a lot more than when he was Nathan previously. Like when he was Nathan on GH early on, he was, I would think, fairly green. And so, but
Hmm.
now I mean, he could have, we don't know what skills he's earned since then. So, um,
You're right. I just want to set
yeah,
him up for success. And this is not me being shady. This is actually me
yeah,
being like, I like this
right,
actor.
yeah,
And I only bring this up because I remember there was like a time a couple years ago where people were like appreciating him. And somebody
uh-huh.
was like, "Oh, people are like appreciating you." He was like, "Really?" Because the fans hated me when I was
Yeah.
there. I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, "What y'all do to this man?" Because I wasn't on Twitter yet. So
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
remember
know.
him not being as popular as the idea of him was. Like him actually being there was a totally different thing. But and so now
Gotcha.
people are romanticizing Maxie like they were the best couple ever, and I'm just like, people are like, this is the most chemistry Maxie has ever had. I was like, no, she actually had chemistry with her husband when they like Maxie had chemistry with a lot of people. So, but they were great,
Yeah.
but they weren't like the best thing that Maxie's ever had. That's not true.
No.
So,
And again, y'all know I'm a Spixie fan, so
yeah.
no,
So,
no disrespect. I like Nathan. I like
yeah.
Maxie. It's not, I love Maxie, so I'm gonna love whatever. But I'm
Yeah.
just, I'm a nostalgia person, and I love me some,
Yeah.
Spixie. Um, but yeah, so we shall see what happens with Nathan. Is there anything I'm missing with Nathan?
No.
Cool. All right. Um, Curtis and Portia. Hat Daddy's back. Also, if y'all want to revisit the tiers of who done it, I had Hat Daddy as a person who might have done it. So for to shot Drew. So I was like, oh, Hat Daddy's back. Interesting. Just saying.
Yes, because
Uh,
we are still trying to figure out what happened to Gangster Hot Daddy. Like we remember he was on site with Sonny and he disappeared some random mobster guy.
he
So
beat up
we
Joey
know
Novak.
he beat up Joey Novak. So there's like really strong possibility that Hat Daddy got some violent streak in him and he could have shot Drew because I was enjoying. That's one of the parts when we were still kind of questionable about Hat Daddy's presence. The one thing that I enjoyed was how much on-site hatred he had for such. It was just like for no
He said,
reason whatsoever.
you, huh?
So
Yeah, they were like, we need some more Emmys up in here. Let's bring Hat Daddy back because Robert Gosling always gonna get him a trophy. Um, but yeah, so they're talking. Dante comes over as they're having like this time, and Portia hears that the night Drew was shot, Curtis was with Jordan. Now, let me say this before I pass it over to you. I support women's rights and wrongs, especially Portia. And I don't
mhm.
care if Portia was in bed with Isaiah. I stand with her on being mad about Curtis being with Jordan, because you do what I tell you to do, not what I did. Okay.
You know what?
So I
I
don't
wasn't
care about
even
it.
yeah, I wasn't even thinking about Portia and Isaiah when that moment happened. For me, all the times that Curtis told her that he had no feelings for Jordan came up for me. He was lying to himself. And so for Portia to hear that that night he went to talk to Jordan immediately, especially after it was the conversation where she was like, if you walk out that door, our marriage is over. He walked out that door and walked straight to Jordan. Yeah, that would have pissed me off too.
Hmm.
So,
Yep. And I'm okay with Portia being mad about it. I don't care what
yes.
Portia did afterwards, because I'm team
Yes.
Portia in this.
Oh yeah.
Um, but then had Eddie told Trina to mind her business after Portia left,
That
because
was
Portia was
so
like,
funny.
I'm out. And Trina did exactly the opposite. She minded everybody's business but her own. And she went to go see Jordan.
I love that moment because that was such a black family moment for me. That's
Yes.
like it calls like
Stay out of grown folks'
stay out of grown
business.
folks' business, mind your business. So yes, peak black parenting.
Peak. Okay. And she didn't listen. And so I was like, yeah, Trina, okay. So she goes to see Jordan. I could have done without it. I feel like they are doing to Trina what was done to Michael before before Rory, which is her whole story is her parents. I
Mhm.
think that there has to be Black hospital story, and then there has to be story outside of that. And what's unfortunate is because of Spy Hospital,
Mhm.
Trina is isolated from her peer group.
Yeah.
So, like, I've always thought that like you have your yeah, anyway, because of that, she's isolated from her peer group. And we've
Yeah.
always had like a situation where Jocelyn was never like not able to be 100% transparent with Trina because of like the mob, because of whatever. But I know that GH thinks that like this Jocelyn story is like a knockoff Alias.
Mhm.
And if you remember Alias, Sydney had friends.
Yes.
Yeah, Sydney had friends. So I just am like, I don't like it. I don't like her being isolated like this. And I think that it's like it's really bad looks for her.
Yeah, Jocelyn needs to come back. I don't know why they had her be gone for like a whole week. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah,
She should just came back home immediately after, Brennan busted up the love affair.
I can't
So,
even, I can't even talk about it. I'm so disgusted. And then the last thing I have on here, so Portia went to Isaiah. And they were like, she was like, well, when I told you before I couldn't be with you, that was a lie. And Isaiah was basically like, we could be secret lovers. That's what we are. Trying hard.
secret lovers. Yeah. I know you're
Is
trying
what we
to avoid us.
are.
Yeah, you're trying to avoid us getting excited, but I don't care now.
It's okay. I realized that as long as you don't have the music in the background, if it's just us kind of singing off key, we good.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, trying hard to fight the way we feel. We both belong to someone else. We won't let them know.
Can't
But
say
what we
no.
feel is
We
also
both,
real.
what they should understand is they both belong to the hospital, and what they're doing is a little illegal. And
I'm okay with it.
Isaiah was like, nobody can know because I like my job, just like so.
You're my little secret, and that's how we should keep it. Shout out to Escape. So, why is there so many songs about creeping? So I
There's
creep.
always
Just
yeah,
keep it on the down low.
there's always a song that's ready to
We're getting
go.
stir crazy. Okay. And then the last thing that I have on my list, and there might have been other things that happened, so y'all got to put it in the comments because,
uh,
this week we've been moving around. Is that Molly tells Alexa she has this crush on Cody.
so again,
So
like
more Cody for you.
I know, but I mean, this storyline I'm okay with because Molly's cute. I'm sorry. I like
Yeah.
this new Molly is so great, and so I would like to see her happy. I don't understand why they disappeared TJ so quickly. I understand why TJ does not want to be with her, but in any case, if she can find happiness, I'm happy for her. I just don't think it should be Cody because I don't think Cody should be on the scene, but whatever. They're cute together. So I'm okay with it.
Do you have any hot takes?
I'm gonna see what the hot take I had. I think that was the funny one that I had was about Nathan. It was like, dang, he's fine. No, Britt, man, Britt was wild with Lulu. And I put
Oh
wild,
yeah.
capitalized wild. Like she doubled down. This is my son. I have a stronger relationship with him than you do. I was like, girl,
I'm more of a mother than you because I
you
carried him. That's nuts.
all the Nopes in Nope land. She just said she did have several seats for no reason. Oh,
So we have, okay, this is not me shooting Brit any bail because I was like, girl, what is this?
mm,
So I do wonder. So we have this scene where obviously she gets this medication in her room from C.
yes.
We don't know who C is for sure, but we can guess. It might be Cesar. But anyway, we get from C. We don't know.
Uh,
And she looks freaked, even though she takes it. And then we're kind of instantly afterwards, Lulu tries to talk to her and she says some wild stuff. So she had this like kind of scene with Rocco where she seemed like whatever with him. And then this happened. So I'm wondering, do you think she did this to get Lulu to not let her see Rocco because she's worried for him or something? Because, like, at first I was like, this is crazy. I cannot believe she's saying this. And I
yeah,
still believe that. But I'm also like, this is so crazy that it's hard to believe she said this.
it is because, and then I saw some see. I wasn't looking for Brit scenes at all, but someone posted a clip, or maybe I saw it as one of the clips that YouTube just suggests. But I saw a clip of where she turned her mom in, like when her mom Lisa was having some sort of confrontation with Nicholas at Elizabeth's house, and she had a gun on Nick and Elizabeth, and she had the baby, and Britt comes in, and Lisa was like, "Hey, I have the baby now. We're gonna run away. You can raise your child." All this other stuff, and then Britt comes in, takes the baby away from Liesel, and then the cops come in, right? And Liesel's like, Britt, you stupid, you let the cops follow you. And Britt was like, no, I brought the cops with me because as much as I love Ben, he is not my son. So she turned her own mother in on this kidnapping. So for her to just double down and be wild about this is my son, she said it over and over and over again. She knows that Rocco is not her son. And so for her to just be like with Lulu, I'm closer to him, I'm a more mother to him, he's my son, is super wild and crazy. I don't know what it is behind that. Maybe she is trying to protect him. I don't know. It's crazy. And I was very upset about it. That's why I'm like super annoyed at Brit right now. But we'll have to see.
Yeah. Sorry, it was a lot of noise in my background. I'm gonna try to go in
Yeah.
and out. So yeah, I agree. I don't know. I thought what she said to Lulu was wild. I thought it was really inappropriate. I
Yes.
thought it has to be something else to it. Britt's
Yeah.
actually, despite everything, an OBGYN, she actually very much knows better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, this is not me shooting her any bail. And that was like what I also was thinking, like, if this is actually how she feels, and they think that we're doing this scene and like to set her up with Jason, it's really surprising to me that they think that she can be with Jason.
She's just crazy.
So,
So, yeah.
yeah. All right. Let's wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah, let's wrap up. I do want to say that I loved the scenes with Dante and Brooklyn. I love when he was like, "You look like a dropper," and like Lisa Cicero was back looking great. Um, Sometimes
Yeah.
I really want more Ned and Olivia, but I'm also like, I kind of want Ned and Olivia to be happy. And I know if they're on screen, we're not
They're
gonna
not
get
going to
that.
be happy. There's going to be some drama. So,
Okay, let me get these previews and then we can get it going. So previews for next week, Monday. Tracy gives an icy welcome. Alexis is in danger. Nina delivers shocking news. Anna gives new evidence in Drew's shooting. Michael tries to shore up his alibi. Tuesday, Sunny makes a new connection. Carly is interrogated. Ava has great timing. Elizabeth confronts Britt. Tracy makes a vow. Wednesday, Monica's will is read with dramatic consequences. Drew is on the warpath. Britt is thrown. Jocelyn returns to town. Isaiah seeks out Portia.
Mhm.
Thursday, Anna and Chase serve a search warrant. Alexis warns Sunny. Geo makes a big decision. Britt plays hardball. Portia gets life-changing news. And Friday, Willow is distraught. Carly visits Elizabeth. Curtis relays a theory to Portia. Brennan meets with Joss. Chase makes a revelation.
Wonder what Gio's big decision is going to be. Is he going to pick up the violin again, or is he going to move back in with the Quartermaine?
I hope it's both.
Yeah.
Well, please make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll put in the description how you can buy us a coffee or get merch. And otherwise, we will see you next week. Bye, y'all.
Hi. Happy birthday, Tracy.
Thank you. You're recording,
Oh,
Tanya.
yeah.